Hello and welcome to another episode of A Coffee with Chris, the social media show that helps you create impact. As always, brought to you in association with our charity partners, Big C, who help local people affected by cancer, and Blue Bear Coffee, replacing your business's coffee to help children that have experienced human trafficking. Today, I've been sipping on their Columbia blend. You can buy this online. You can also head to their lovely coffee shop on Tombland in Norwich if you fancy checking in to visit those guys. Do, of course, as always, this show is also proudly sponsored by Oliver Hill of Hill Coaching Company, Limitless Film and Media, Mindset HR, and Wingfield Consultants. That's the formalities out the way. Let's welcome today's guest. I have managed to secure some time from Rebecca Houston, Bex, as we know her as, Managing Director of Smash Marketing. Smash Marketing, for those of you that don't know these brilliant guys, are experienced marketers with a passion for everything digital. And what I want to talk to you about today, Bex, specifically is SEO. I know it's a specialism of yours. So the big question to kick off with is why? Why SEO? Why do businesses need to jump into this world?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. Why should any businesses be taking time and effort to do SEO? So SEO, let's just start off with, is search engine optimization, which is the art of getting websites found online. Basically, if somebody is looking for your services, what's one of the first things they're going to do? They're going to go online and do a search. And if you're not appearing, then you're missing out on that opportunity. So being found in search engines is vital. But just get this out here now, SEO isn't the be all and end all. SEO should be part of an integrated marketing plan, which should also include, like yourself, social media, email marketing, Google ads and all those things. But SEO, essential for being found in search engines. Over 80% of purchases start with an online search, 80%. So it's so important to be found.
What a great way to start, Bex. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love it when I have a marketer on this podcast and they say something like, it's not the be all and end all, or they say it's part of a wider strategy. It's so important. There's no silver bullet, right? And SEO, of course, can link with social, can link with photography, design, video, all of those things. It's an incredibly powerful tool. So great way to kick things off. One of the things we like to do on this podcast, Bex, is actually give businesses the starting steps, because SEO, like other parts of digital marketing and the various segments involved, can sometimes feel a bit overbearing, overwhelming, complicated. There's a few cowboys about as well, of course, let's be honest. So what would you say to those businesses that haven't yet delved into the world of SEO? And what would you say are the starting steps that they can do? Hey, even perhaps without your expert itself,
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a DIY SEO top tips. So people can get started. There is a huge amount that you can do yourself. We're on the cusp at the moment between an AI search model and the old traditional keyword search. So at the moment, still looking for your keywords, doing a bit of keyword research and understanding what people are typing into search engines. That's still really important. So there is a tool within the Google Ads platform called the Keyword Planner tool. And you can actually go on there and see within your geographic area how many people are looking for your services. Put in like a seed word. I don't know, for yourself, Chris, it might be social media management near me. And then actually Google will then give you hundreds of other alternatives, because we don't all use the same key phrase, right? There are lots of variants, and those can then become your secondary keywords and your synonyms. So keep a list of all of those keywords. And then if you choose one main key phrase and add that into what's called your meta title. So if you ever want to know what your meta titles are, your tab right at the top of your web page, just hover on that and a little box will pop out and that will tell you what your meta title is. And the meta titles are the main heading that's shown in search engine results pages as well. So that's really important. And then take that same keyword that you've decided on for that one page and also put that into your H1. You should only have one H1 per page, ideally, is best practice. The rest can be sort of H2s down to H6. And I would put your synonyms and your alternative key phrases in as H2s and H6 down to H6, because those are ranking signals as well. And then if you put it into your meta description, so your meta description is that paragraph of text that you skim read before you decide if you're going to click on this website's results or another website's results. And if the type keyword that the person has typed into search is included in your meta description, it'll be made bold, which means you've got even more chance of being selected. Your result might be actually clicked on. So that's keywords. The next thing I would do is just really think about the content that you've got on your website. So there's three real main parts of SEO. You've got the technical, that's all the back-endy stuff that the SEO experts want to bamboozle you with and make you think it's a dark art, and it's actually not. It's just a process, a sequence of events that you put a website through. So have a good click around. Go on to things like, these are completely free tools that I'm going to recommend today. There's one called Google Search Console, which is part of the Google suite, and it will give you advice on how to optimize and things to change on your website that you might be penalized for. You might have broken links, or you might have pages that are super slow. There's a speed test. There's Google Analytics will tell you how many people are coming into your website, where they're coming from. And then you can start to optimize for that as well. Well, what is the user journey? They're coming into my website at this page, but then they're dropping off. Why are they dropping off? Oh, it's because we've got some broken links. Get your friends to have a good click around. I always think that it's really important to do a bit of testing with people who've never been on your website before. So if you sell a widget, just get somebody that you know, give them a task. I want you to go and buy the widget. How easy was it to find and buy? Because user experience and the content on your website is another ranking factor, like dwell time and how many pages they look at, and if they scroll and if they watch videos. So basically, SEO is all about being better than your competition. So if your competition has got 1,000 words on their website, you need 1,500 words, but not just any old words. And don't just use AI to write some random words and sling them on there, because yes, AI has got a place at writing content, but it's just a starting point. I'd say it's about 60%. Use it for your research and as a starting point, and then make it sound like your brand. Make it human. AI quite often will write the same paragraph over and over, but using different words, and it's really repetitive. And you know, people in the industry, we can spot AI a mile away, but you can use it as a starting point. And then you want to do, so yeah, if your competition's got 1,000 words, you want 1,500 words. If they've got 30 links back to a certain page, you want to have 40 links back, because link building and links back to your website is another ranking factor, but not all links are the same. So a link from Fred's Butchers down the road isn't going to be as valuable as a link from the BBC. So we need to make sure that we're getting good links coming back. Don't ever buy links, because Google knows that old chestnut, and you will just get knocked off the face of the internet. The best way to build links is by generating amazing content, things that people will want to link to. Oh, I read this blog the other day. It was fabulous. Do you know what? I'm gonna link to that because it was great.
Bex, I must talk to you about blogs. You've teed me up really nicely. Some amazing starting steps there, by the way. And I love how much value you're pouring in. You're absolutely brilliant, Bex. Thank you. I want to talk to you specifically about blogs and content, right? Because when it comes to SEO, the real kind of cheap shot starter pack shout is, yeah, you just write blogs and ram it full of keywords, right? So what would you say to those people that are saying that? And also, do you think that's the right advice for every business or not?
No. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. So we're going to start with keywords. You want to have one main key phrase per page, because if not, Google's going to look at it and say, well, you got that key phrase there, and you got the same key phrase there, and you got the same key phrase there. And you actually get what's called cannibalization, where your pages compete against each other and you lose the ranking strength that you may have built up. So you want to go for one key phrase per page. And then you've got to think, well, actually, what's more important? Should I be bringing people into my service pages, or should I be bringing people into a blog? And the answer to that isn't yes or no. It's it all depends on where people are in their buying stage. So you've got people at research stage who, yes, you want to bring in on a blog because you're there to educate them. But then you've got people who are showing buying signals, and it's all about, they call it user intent. If I'm now researching and I know what my product is, and now I'm looking for the right supplier, then you want to be bringing people into your service pages where you can give them the who, what, when, where, and why, who you are, what you do, why they should choose you, social proof, so that they then feel compelled to pick up the phone or contact you and start the ball rolling with a proper inquiry. But if I'm still in that research stage, then I always recommend what's called They Ask You Answer. You might have read the book.
Yeah, with you.
And it's all about, okay, I'm going to ask a question. What is the best widget to use for an XYZ? Then you do that keyword research. And there are lots of platforms out there that give you free, it might give you like 10 free searches per day. And there's, let me think, what are there? There's Ask the Public.
Yes, very good one. Very good one. There's loads. There are loads.
Also Asked, is it? I think is another one.
Yes, yes.
You can go on there and it will kind of give you a bit of a tree. So you put your seed phrase in, and then it will give you lots of ideas of what people are typing into search engines. And you could generate shed loads of blog titles using these, they call them long tail key phrases when they're like a long sentence. And that could generate blog content for you for the next year. Hey. But it's not just, I wonder what people are going to type into search engines. It's actually based on what people are looking for. So you're answering their questions. And while they're reading your blog and you're giving the answer to them, you can say, well, hey, have you thought about, and you can take them through to your service pages.
Bex, just a quick pause on this before I get you back to blogs, maybe. Love that. And by the way, I love how unplanned this is. But this is two birds with one stone here, because when it then comes to your social media, you can use that content and it'll be more likely to convert because you've got answers to those frequently asked questions. Genius. Such a good shout, Bex. Thank you. Was there anything else on blogs? There was something else, I think. I'm sure there was. But...
You're completely right. So I would then use that content and email marketing as well as another one to put it in.
Yeah.
And then you can use contextual links between, and because that's another way that Google will actually crawl your site is through the links, internal links. We call them contextual links, internal links between the pages on your website. So that's really important. And then blogs as well. There's a type. We call them evergreen. In that you can create a blog and it will continue to, as long as you evolve it, it will continue to bring in inquiries. So let's say, I'll give you a scenario. Let's say I've read a blog 3 years ago on a topic, but it's out of date now. So I'm thinking about writing another blog on another page. Because this new page will be brand new, I'm much better to evolve this one, the old content, and evolve it and update it.
Yeah.
Old content and on any page of your website, and each page is treated as an individual entity. If you don't update it on a regular basis, it's seen as neglected by Google. So it's really important to keep updating your content. So what we tend to do is we have a large spreadsheet for each of our clients, and we can see, right, we haven't updated that page for a while. Let's update it. And then you can see, it's usually about a lag of about 3 months. And you can see, oh, look, that page is now increased in the rankings. But people can do that themselves. It's just a case of adding quality content. Don't just add any old junk. It's all about adding value. Google wants to be able to go in and see, right, I'm demonstrating that I'm a thought leader in this area. I am sharing my knowledge and I am adding value rather than just any old junk.
I'm so happy we've kind of put that stigma to bed there, Bex. I think that's brilliant. It's no longer just about writing a blog and just filling it up with keywords. There's so much more to it. So thank you for sharing the detail on that. And Bex, forgive my ignorance as well. Obviously not my area of specialism. I want to talk to you about local SEO for small businesses. Is it as simple as getting listed on Google Maps? Is there more to it? What's the kind of impact of local SEO? Talk to us about that, please.
Okay. So it's really important for your website to be up to date and have everything tickety-boo. But there are also other things that you can do to be found in search engines that aren't necessarily around the website. So you touched on Google Business, used to be called Google My Business. It's now Google Business. That in itself is a bit of an art form. So, you know, in the map pack, the search results that have the little map on and the little showing where each organization is. So if I'm looking for a local plumber, for argument's sake, the ranking on that is dependent on various different fields, like how many reviews you've got, how many how many
I've got to ask you about this. This is a selfish question. Let me interrupt you, Bex. Right. I've always had this sneaky suspicion, but I didn't know definitively that the more Google reviews you have, the better your ranking can be as well, because I'm looking at some of my competition and I'm seeing that I'm ranking above them simply because I have more reviews. My website isn't particularly fancy. Is that the case? Am I right?
Oh, do you know, SEO isn't any one thing. Okay. It's a culmination of, I think there's about 200 different ranking factors. Wow. So it's that your website is fast, it's you've got Google reviews, it's that you've got content, you keep it up to date. There are so many things. You haven't got any broken links. It's where it's hosted. It's so many things. Yeah.
But would you say, Bex, that good advice is that businesses should go out the way to get Google reviews because it is a ranking factor, right?
It is a ranking factor, right, especially for local. Because how many times do we go onto Google and we say, "Oh, plumbing near me," and then I mean, apart from the ads, obviously there's local service ads, which I think are a bit of a no-brainer for local trades. But actually, in that map pack, we'll quite often see, well, I live there and they're just there.
Yes.
But just recently, Google's been very, very nitpicky about setting up new Google business listings. It wants you to jump through a lot of hoops. A lot of our clients recently, new clients coming on board, have said, I can't get a listing. But you can just persevere, and you might have to go outside on your phone, on a video, show your street name or show some kind of signage. You have to do a lot these days, but it's well worth it. So worth it. And then when you've got your Google business listing, populate it. Make sure you put your services on there, and you can put them on as products. You can put, video, blogs, social media posts. Just keep adding content to it.
Love it.
Move up.
Love it, Bex. Brilliant. I'm so pleased that you've addressed some of those kind of key points around local SEO. I think I don't think we know for a fact, right? So many businesses aren't doing most of the things that you're talking about. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, there are some more things you could do as well, actually.
Come on.
So there's, when you've got your Google business listing up to date, you can actually, so Microsoft has got something called Bing for Business, and you can integrate your Bing business and your Google business. So everything that you've put into your Google business listing can automatically be taken over to Bing. So you haven't even got to do anything. All you've got to do is set it up and integrate them. And also from an SEO perspective, if you really are only working in Norwich, for argument's sake, and I say that because we're Norwich based, then, one of our keywords is digital marketing agency Norwich. And shout about your locations, because people will be typing that into search. Google does know where you are, but if you've got pages with content, so we worked with a holiday cottage company and we've optimized pages for different areas that they've got their cottages in, and those perform very well as well. So it's really important to talk about the area that you're in and show that you're nicely integrated into your locality. Another thing is getting local links as well. So your Fred's Butcher's link is going to be a good one in this scenario because you are working locally.
Brilliant. Love that. God, Definitely going to need to do a round two, Bex. It's brilliant. And you've already started to talk about my next point, actually, which is around, I'd love to, if you could share another story for me, please, Bex, around, you know, a bit of client success that you've had. Obviously, there's loads to choose from, but I'd love to hear from you, perhaps, you know, when you've picked up a client from scratch and you've implemented some or all of the SEO tips and tricks and strategies that you've shared today, and what have the results been off the back of your SEO work with them?
Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name, but it's
dance around it.
So I've chosen this one because I love animals, and it's a veterinary practice.
Okay.
And let's just say I live in Rackheath, and they're a veterinary practice.
Okay.
And when they came on board, they just had a website built, and it was a brand new business, a brand new veterinary practice, and they'd been trading for a year.
Yeah.
Well, something maybe not so brand new. They're a year old. Weren't getting any hits on the website, nothing whatsoever. I think they were struggling, and I'm sure they wouldn't. They've given me amazing reviews and testimonials, so I'm sure they wouldn't mind me sharing that they were struggling a bit to get new business through the website. So we did a program of evolving the content. We optimized it, and I love. I'm not even their account manager, but I go and have the meetings with them each month because I just love them so much. And now they are taking on new vets, and they are booming. They are booming. It's lovely to work with an independent, rather than, because I think a lot of vets these days have been bought out by the big nationals. And speaking of big nationals, they now outrank Chapelfield vets, who is a big national.
Wow.
I know. They are outranking most of their competition, which is fabulous, and went from nothing to performing incredibly well. So I'm really proud of the work we've done with them.
Oh no, you should be. And seriously, this is exactly, I wanted to ask that question because to almost prove it, because so many people are bamboozled by it. It's like a dark art. There's a lot of stigma around SEO. But, you know, and I love the fact that you've brought up independent there. How many independent businesses hear about SEO or see SEO or look at SEO and they go, oh, no, we're not big enough to delve into that world, right? And that's certainly not the case. Bex, I must go to you now on the key mistakes that businesses make, the mistakes that you see time after time when you pick up a new client and you're like, oh, my God, don't do this, do that. Tell us about the fires you're putting out for people and the mistakes that people should avoid.
There are so many. On more times than I would care to remember, we've had people come to us and say, we're not getting any visitors. Then we look at it and somebody has hidden them from Google crawling. It's had a no index tag put on.
Wow.
Which means Google, don't look at me. I'm not ready to be looked at. And a lot of developers will put that on before they've launched. But obviously they've then forgotten to take it off. So they've been invisible. So we've seen that one quite a few times. And then I touched on cannibalization earlier. People think, do you know what? I sell widgets, so I'm going to put sell widgets in Norwich on every page. And then they're wondering why they're not getting any visitors, because they are lessening the strength of their SEO. Another one is taking really large resolution videos and images and putting them on the website, which is slowing the sites down. Speed is a ranking factor. What else we got? Not having enough text on a page. So there was a stat, I don't know if it's so important right now, but anything under 200 words is seen as spam by Google.
Oh,
I know. And we quite often have this with, we seem to work with a lot of artists and graphic designers and photographers who, I want my site to be clean and clear and minimal, which is going to look lovely. If you can drive a lot of traffic to it, then brilliant. But it's just not going to be found in search because it hasn't got that valuable content that Google wants to see on the pages.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for sharing all of that. And you're speaking my language, Bex. There's so many things that we do in marketing that are about looking a certain way and the vanity of it, but actually what actually works. And I think that's some brilliant mistakes, shared there, Bex. So thank you. Bex, where can people do business with you? I know you mentioned about your DIY SEO stuff as well. Like, where can people go to connect with you, to do business with you, to learn more? Because I know, I can feel it. There's so much more you want to share.
I literally could talk for hours and have about SEO. I've got a bit of a passion for it. I think because SMEs think that it is a thing for the big boys, but it's not. We can level that playing field, and we do it on a daily basis. I think some of the bigger SEO companies will say you can't do anything for under £1,000 a month. And to that I say, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but that's bull. That's rubbish. And we do it day in and day out.
Love it.
So we are Smash Marketing, smashmarketing.co.uk. My name is Bex, but my full name is Rebecca Houston. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Email address, rebecca@smashmarketing.co.uk. The free SEO audit, we are offering completely free audits.
Wow.
So what I say to people is that, do you know what? We're a B Corp as well, and I'm really into kind of giving back to people. And I just figure, well, if I can help some people with some freebies, next time they hear somebody that actually needs to go and pay for an agency to do some SEO work, then I'm hoping that they will feel the need to return the favour and recommend them to us. And people do. So the free audit entails us going on. We'll look at it from a technical perspective. We'll look at it from a user experience perspective. I then jump on a Zoom or a Teams call or a whatever call. I talk them through the recommendations. If they're not in a position for us to do it, then they can take it. They can implement the changes themselves, or they can give it to their web developer, and it's completely free.
What a great place to direct people to. Bex, thank you for your time today. You've been a brilliant guest.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much to everyone watching live, listening back, watching back. I'm sure if you've got a question around SEO, local SEO and more, feel free to put it in the comments and Bex will get back to you, hopefully, as quickly as possible. I will if not. Thank you so much once again for tuning in to A Coffee with Chris, and we will see you this time next week for another one.